Hi there, this is Sheena Rowlands sharing with you a scrapbook process video for Hey Little Magpie featuring Vicki Boutin Storyteller. For this page I really wanted to use the foiled vellum paper and the one that's similar to it, the assemblage paper with the circles on it. So I cut some circles from both the paper and the vellum, and then I had an idea that I would like to make some bigger circles, so I'm just adding some tape and then some manufacturer's strips to a piece of paper, and then I cut using metal dies some bigger circles that you can see that I've laid out there on the cardstock. I've chosen my photo as well, so that's there in the centre. I wanted to use one of the puffy phrase and icon thickers as the title. I've gone with photo op. And I felt that the background needed some work, so here I am. I'm going to actually make a mixed media background, just bringing some distress ink oxides in at the back to start with, just using the packaging technique. As you can see, I keep rolling it with the kitchen roll. That's just to remove any excess water. Even though this is Vicki Boutin foundation paper, I'm trying not to waterlog it completely, as I want to add some more mixed media on top of this layer. So as you can see, I'm just adding the colour slowly, working my way across the paper and just adding a few splatters as well. I now bring in a stencil. It's I think it's a Crafter's Workshop stencil, and I'm going to add some darker shades through that. It's got lots of circles, so you can see I'm taping it down at the top to try and keep it still, and then I can keep lifting it and checking where I'm getting the ink. The brush that I'm using is the first time I've used these. I saw somebody had got them online, so I bought a couple from Amazon to try. Yes, it certainly gives a nice soft feel. I don't know whether I'm meant to have a brush per colour. I do go and wash this one at the end, so I can use it again for a different colour, but I did like the way it was for applying ink. So now I bring in one of the Vicki Boutin stencils. This is from the Radiate stencil set that goes with Storyteller. And I add, using a contrast colour, some of like the starburst type shapes behind some of the circles. I then locate a previous stamp and die set from a Vicki Boutin range, and I'm going to add some circles in as well, using similar shades of blue just behind some of the circles that I cut out. Some of this stamping probably isn't going to be seen at the end, but I just carried on slowly, adding a few more circles in. Some of them aren't printing properly. That doesn't really matter. That all goes with the effect that I'm looking for. And I'm adding just a few last ones here and there. I try them another colour to go with the purpley colours that are actually in the foiled vellum. These are a little bit fainter on top of the previous mixed media layers. I bring in the assemblage paper again and use the other side of it to back my photo with a slightly darker colour, and distress the edges of that. I keep putting everything back into place just so I can have an idea how it will all look when it's together, and I bring in some black circular lines around some of the places just to add another layer of stamping. The photograph was taken in a junkyard in Vegas. It's where neon signs go to die, and you can go and have a look at all these signs from the 50s and 60s that have been taken off buildings in the Vegas area. So I wanted it to have a little bit of a grungy background to go with the photograph. As you can see, I've now cut the background A4. It suits me better this way. For some reason it just wasn't sitting right, so I'm much happier now that I've cut down the cardstock. So I'm sticking down some of the circles as a lower layer, and I take them away to the sewing machine and I sew through them with black thread. Depending on which way the lines on the circle goes, that's the way I've done the stitching. So some are vertical and some are horizontal. Then I add the photograph on foam just to give a little bit of dimension, and then I add some more of the circles in on foam as well, just to add another layer. I'm definitely happier with the way that this looks and the feel that I wanted this layout to have. even though it's taken me a little bit longer to achieve that than I'd initially anticipated. So I'm just tucking a few more bits and pieces in with the foam. There's a sticker on the sheet that said Circle of Friends, and I really thought that needed to be added to this layout, so I trim it to fit on one of the circular embellishments, which takes me, it's a bit fiddly, takes me a little bit of time. But as this trip to Vegas was for 6 of us, all celebrating our wedding anniversaries, I thought that sticker really needed to be added. And then just stick down the title finally, the photo op. I just thought that's perfect. My husband and his selfie pole. There's quite a lot of selfies like this taken on this trip. And then I add my journaling to one of the flat circles. Here are the close-ups and the full main image. I hope you've enjoyed this video. If you do, please subscribe to my channel if you'd like to see some in the future. Thank you very much for watching. See you next time. Bye now.